So, guys, thanks for tuning in again. VR, Rod and Pollux and AJ, thanks for joining in the stream already. We're going to give our second podcast a go today. We've got a nice, juicy lineup for the visitors today. Let me just open up the party settings and see. So we've got VR, who might join us a little bit later, but he's a little microphone shy. AJ, Bob, Bagpuss, Havoc, Mick, and Ash. So hopefully it should be a good one. I think we've got a good lineup there. So Havoc, how you doing today?
I'm doing really good, Robot. I'm excited about the podcast. I think it went good last time. I'm pretty sure it went well last time.
Yeah, it did. We got a lot of good reviews, a lot of views on there as well. A lot of people asking that they want to find out more info on the next season dealings in about 2 or 3 weeks now. So I think it's going to be another good episode today.
Yeah, we're gonna go through all that today. Like you said, we've got tons of visitors that have stopped by. We're gonna chat with some of the GT guys. We've got some of the F1 guys here. We've got Bob's your uncle, who actually commentates D3 and D4.
Yeah.
Does a lot of our late night stuff for the American series. We've got Bob here today, so I say we get right into it.
Yeah, so we wanted to talk a bit about the GTS next season because we're having like 4 or 5 events in a single week for 10 weeks next season in GTS, and the GTS admin Bagpuss is here today. How you doing, Bagpuss?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to have you here. So maybe we could just actually quickly talk about how GTS has gone this season so far. So this is our second season. We've got 2 divisions and a little special 4 race season of the Classic Cup that's going on. All seems to be going well. Let's just ignore the on-track behaviour for now. But the season setup, the races, everything, it seems to be running smoothly.
It does, yeah. I mean, the first season we had our problems with people's connection and with some dodgy starts and things, but everyone seems to have got into the rhythm now. The races start quite quickly, and in the most part, I think they're enjoyable to watch and to take part in.
Yeah, they really are. Now, there has been a lot of drama going on in GTS this season. So many team rivalries, more than we've ever seen before in OFR. Like, let's just like name it. Spinorama and Tag, they have some serious beef right now. It's big.
It's between all of them as well. Yeah, it's not just one driver and another driver. It's the whole team from both sides are going at it, and it's been a thrill to watch all season, and I can't wait to see how it wraps up. I mean, it's already over, but I can guarantee you that they're not going to call it off just because, they've clinched the championship.
Yeah, so
I guess it's...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I guess it started pre-season, didn't it? I mean, we were looking at team lineups and there was rumours that AJ was going to join us on the grid. No one was 100% certain. And then we saw that he was going to join us as part of Tag on Tom's team. And then next thing we know, he's switched. He's been pinched by Leica. He's at Spinorama. So they return fire, and Phil sort of leaves what was going to be Spinorama's team in D2, and he moves over to Tag, and so it was already sort of shots fired before the season even began.
Yeah, it really was. And AJ, who came out on top in D2 and races in both divisions, but now he's only in Division 1, he's joining us here today, so hopefully we can get some inside info from him too. But as far as I'm aware, the D1 Drivers' Championship has already been wrapped up by Racer. He's a Spinorama driver. And Spinorama is still leading the Constructors' Championship in D1, but I'm not sure if it's wrapped up there. Do you know?
Yeah, I think they did wrap it up at the end of the last race. So it's just the D2 team one that's still to be decided.
And in that one, it's actually Tag who's leading in D2. Is that right?
Yeah, with Spinorama following.
Yeah, I think they're only 20-something points behind, so that is definitely going to be an interesting one. And there's still a lot of drama in D2 with the sister team. So we've got the Spinorama amateur team, and is it Tag? Is it? I can't even remember the name.
Vermilion
Racing. That was it. And yeah, lots of drama with them and some of Gwen's boys and things like that. It's all been kicking off. But AJ, are you there?
I am here, Robot. Hello.
Hello. How are you today?
Not bad. How are you? How about you?
Yeah, I'm good. So, first question: how does it feel to have wrapped up your second champion of the world status in OFR?
It feels good and unexpected because coming into the season, I wasn't really sure what kind of pace I'll be at. I thought I'll be actually kind of towards the back of D2.
Because this has been that was your first try. That was your first go at GTS, yeah, AJ? I mean, this season was your first go at it.
It was, and it felt really good, especially after the first race. Okay, as I said, I wasn't too confident. I thought I'll be lingering around the back, but to be battling people like Ash gave me a massive confidence boost in GTS, and actually made me like the game a little bit more than F1 recently. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed the battles that we've had.
That's good. That's good. So, you're not racing as much as you do in F1. How does the driving the GTS cars compare to F1? And what about like the battles that you have on track with GTS guys versus what you were doing in F1 previous season?
Well, in F1, they're all really, really quick guys, and it did become a struggle when you turned off Racing Line. And when I moved to GTS and tried that out, it felt like a new challenge, and it felt good to be in a different sort of racing league in a way. And
Is it a little easier on the GTS side, do you think, AJ? Is it a little bit easier to drive the car around? Maybe just a little bit more comfortable with the other guys as well with the pace. But is the car to you, is it something that drives pretty comfortable around the track as opposed to an F1 car?
It's definitely easier to be more consistent with it, but to be quick consistently, it's probably about the same, I would say. F1, you only really need to do a one push lap in qualifying, but in the race you can try and contain your pace and try and keep the tyres together. Whereas in GTS, you could kind of just push the whole race and feel quite comfortable with it. Definitely, it's given me a big confidence boost, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That sounds about right. What about now you've had the ability to go between the two divisions this season, and just to go into the future season that we're coming into, how is the pace difference between the Group 1 guys and the Group 2 guys? I mean, is it kind of similar, or is there a baseline where Group 2 kind of drops off? What's the difference there?
Well, the pace difference there's obviously a pace difference with about maybe 2 seconds between the very top guys in D1
Wow.
and the top guys in D2. But I think racing as a whole is quite similar. They both give you similar sort of space, and they both produce great racing. And I felt comfortable in D1, and I felt like D2 was still hard, but I felt like I didn't have to push as much, which obviously didn't unlock my full potential. Whereas in D1, I was battling like Leica and other drivers like Grim, stuff like that. I had good battles with those, and last time out actually in D1, I had a good battle with Castle, which just makes me enjoy the game even more.
Sounds good.
I mean, two-part question. The first part, AJ, given your success in the crossover to Gran Turismo, and in addition, managing to successfully drive not just the BMW but the AMG, all whilst contributing to the team championship for Spinorama in Division 1. Mm-hmm. Which flavour Angel Delight do you think goes best after a traditional Sunday roast?
You might be too young for it. Do you even know what it is?
I know what Angel Delight is.
Thank God it's still around.
The dessert of kings.
I very much like the chocolate, but I think that's just like the obvious choice.
That's the second best one. I'll give you that.
It's got to be
But
butterscotch.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But on the more serious note, you took to the BMW quite quickly, as you say. You came in, you weren't sure on your pace, but the BMW seemed to suit you, and you went very quickly into sort of fighting for the front spots. Then the AMG, when you came over to D1, you were doing the same thing, but you seem to have struggled more since moving to D1 permanently for Ravenwest in the Toyota. Is it the car or the setup, or do you just maybe haven't had as much practice or something recently?
Well, because I'm more in the championship in D2, I do practice more. I practiced more in the BMW, which didn't really give me a lot of time to race with the Toyota. But the Toyota is actually quite good in corners, but it's harder to get the setup right. And I have been struggling the last couple of Grand Prix that I've been in. But I've enjoyed battling with people like my teammate and Castle. But it's definitely a new challenge, and it almost feels like a completely different game on the Toyota compared to the AMG and the BMW.
I agree. I've been in that one as well.
Yeah, it feels different, but I wouldn't say it feels worse. I just feel like a little bit slower, rather than worse. It's definitely been a difficult time at the moment, but hopefully I can pull something out of the bag in the next couple of Grand Prix. Hopefully I'll be in them still, if I have time.
I mean, I feel for Bockencourt's sort of benefit, I'd rather you don't really put it together in the Toyota. I'm quite happy for it to carry on.
Yeah, so let's talk about your performance in GTS, Bagpuss, because you've had 2 podiums now in 3 weeks. Is that right? You finished P2 in the Classic Cup and I think P3 in the second to last GTS race. Is that right?
Yeah, so P3. I'm still a bit annoyed. I made one mistake, like lap 17, and like I just snuck through. So I was on for a really solid P2 in Alsace or Alsace, whichever we're going to call it today. We're going to go with that. It was really, really strong. Really, really pleased with the performance. We knew that the Beetle was maybe going to be good there. We'd sort of earmarked it right at the beginning of the season when we knew that after the first race, the Beetle maybe was a really poor choice on our behalf. And we knew that we were going to be
You made it look
relying.
good though, Bag. I mean, you guys have made the Beetle look fairly good this season.
Yeah, I mean, we've tried. There's some tracks where it's just not really worked out. I mean, Willow Springs was one of them. We made a poor choice on strategy. We made a poor choice on pit stops, and we just really struggled there. But, you know, we maximised it in Austria with, I think, a P3 there after a penalty. And, the same in Alsace as well. So, yeah, really pleased with that. And then the Classic Cup, it was nice to sort of get one back on Leica there.
Yeah, Leica's one of these super consistent drivers that just will stalk you the entire race and make a move on the last lap. He does it so often. We see it so many times. And yeah.
So
Yeah,
safe to say the
time
Beetle's
change.
not going to be chosen in the near future.
And not by us, definitely not by us. We've put that one straight on the list for never to be used again by us.
Sounds good.
AJ, someone's DM'd me on Discord and they won't let me say who it is, but they've got a question for you. It's a 2-part question. The first part of it is what made you switch from tag to spin at the very beginning? So I think that's referring to when you kind of like switched with Phil. And the second question is, have you really been ordered to disrupt tag during the races?
To answer your first question, I think it was the people.
We're not going to say
I
who
didn't
that
know-
was, are we?
No, we can't. They've asked for correct privacy in place.
Okay. I moved to spin because I kind of knew the people more, especially the D2 guys. I knew Fifi and Bounty. I knew them a lot more than I knew Tom, and I think it was I've forgotten. I think it was Doc Coop.
Yeah, Tom and
I knew. Yeah, I definitely knew the spin guys a lot more, and Leica is very good at bribing people.
There you go. That's the key point.
And
Part 2.
well, do I have to say it? I'm not.
I think so. I think podcast rules dictate that it has to be answered.
It has to be answered.
Have you been ordered to disrupt tag in D1 and D2?
I've been told to fight them a little bit more than the other guys. I wouldn't say disrupt.
Interesting.
I think it's more to help with the championship rather than.
Well, that's not a team order that we don't. It's not one of those things that doesn't come out. I mean, it's weird to hear it come out in an interview, or in public, But I mean, it's not a weird thing that happens within teams all the time. And I think Bagpuss can agree. It's not it's not one of those things that we don't often run into all the time. It's always there. You always have that one guy or that one team, and if you can make it a little bit harder, then you're gonna do it.
I mean, I think it's probably Leica's doing, isn't it? There was quite a lot of negotiations in the back room with obviously to take AJ over to Raven West, and I wouldn't mind betting that if we was to look into the contract that took him over there and made that happen, there's going to be stipulations around tag in there somewhere.
There must be. But picking up on what Havoc said, yeah, it is kind of like a racing thing to do, because whenever we're racing as teammates in D2, one of us is always a wingman to the other. and we're always
Yeah.
getting told to hold people up. People do it to me as well. Like we know, like Tom and
Yep.
and VR, when they used to be teammates, these were our like main rivals. They always used to like get in the middle of us and interfere. Lav Session BWAT have done it a few times to us as well, but it's just standard procedure really when you're racing in a team. It's got to be done.
I think so.
I mean, Platypus has done the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So so Austria, Alsace, the 2 podiums, he was under instructions to just hold people up, so he pitted. We only did the 2 stop in Austria. I think most people 3 stopped. And the plan was he would be able to stay out then and disrupt the traffic. Quick guys that I know have at least the match, if not beating of me in pace, the Ash, Harley, guys like that. If we can hold them up any way possible, then he stays out and he just makes his car wide around them corners. The same in Alsace, just to hold everyone up. Sort of sacrifices his own race in the benefit of hoping to get the bigger points at the top of the grid.
That's what makes him one of the most liked guys in GTS, though. I love Platypus to death. I used to get on Sunday mornings, and it's the guys from Balkan Calls or Rod, and it's just fun to get on and tear it up with those guys. Just conversate and just beat on each other a little bit. And I think Mary was one of those guys that did it as well. It was a good Sunday ritual for a while.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have Mary back as well. Do you have any info on his return back?
I have no idea. I mean, obviously he showed up today, didn't he? Just out of the blue, come in, chucked in his 2 pennies worth, and he'll probably go quiet for a while again. Now, I'm not too sure. I think he's just got some stuff going on outside of OFR, and hopefully he'll come back and be able to commit to some regular racing. But in the meantime, we've managed to bring a secret weapon into the team for next season.
Very nice.
Oh,
Yeah. So actually, just before we start talking about the next season stuff, we'll do that next. Someone has also asked. Again, they want to remain nameless about it says penalties, so I assume they mean some of the on-track behaviour in GTS this season. Now, I mean, kind of from the start, it has been a bit more drama going on, more aggressive driving and more silly mistakes. Now, is that just a result of the fact that there was heavy damage on in both divisions and it was kind of hard to get used to, so more people were reporting each other? Or is it the rivalries, like everyone just wants to kind of destroy the other team so much? Or what? Like what do you think it is that's caused the amount of incidents this season compared to last?
I think the damage is a main factor, isn't it? Because people's races are being affected more by these little collisions. But I think secondly, it's maybe a sign that we've got a good mix. When we've set up D1 and D2, you've got lots of drivers of similar place, so there's a lot more people racing side by side regularly rather than the big splits we may have saw last season in having guys like Shane at the front and then other guys, maybe Fifi a bit further back, that were never really near each other.
Yeah, I heard that.
It's got to be the damage, though. I mean, the damage, it affects your race so much this season that it almost requires you to be a little more competitive, but it's also gotten under some of the guys' skins. I'm going to raise my hand and say, I've been one of those guys that's been a little upset. But, you just, the little brake check here or the little dive bomb there, and you've almost ruined your race right there. Or you've had your race ruined and, it's coming into the pit and you're a lap down and that's the end of it.
If I can dive in. Sorry, I was just going to dive in. Just say that Sunday was the first time that I'd been affected by the damage, and it was really, really hard work to have a lap 1 pit stop and to come back and fight back. So it's definitely added another variance to the game this season, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Go ahead, Tay.
Heavy damage is a bit of a two-way street, because if you get close to another car, there's always the damage, and there's always the risk of it. It's the same thing as F1. There is also a process of getting used to it. Obviously, last season, I think we were running light damage. So it's kind of a mix of all those points you've made. I think it's just kind of adjusting to a new way of racing.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bagpuss hit it on the head.
Yeah. Well, and is it possible that so? There was one incident in Monza where a driver went into the back of another driver, and one of the comments was that the fact that everyone's using a different car they have things like different braking points, different acceleration out of corners, and so on. Could that have been a factor into this into the amount of incidents that we've seen or not?
I don't think so either.
No. They're all homologated to the same regulations. I believe they're all using ceramic. I think they're all on ceramic discs. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how they.
Well, it's your responsibility, though, isn't it, Racer?
Yeah, you've got to know.
It's your responsibility to stay away from that car.
I know for a fact that if I'm close to a car, if I'm like up to a 10th and going into a corner, I will back away, just so that I'm not I have room to put my car in a different position. If they brake quite suddenly in front of me, I will always put my car in a position where I can prepare for an unexpected braking zone.
Yeah.
So let's go on to season 2 stuff, because season 3 stuff. Sorry, I can't get my seasons right. Because this is what I think a lot of people have tuned in for today, to figure out exactly what choices we've made, why we've made these choices, and pretty much the scheduling things that people might not have seen. So we have released an advert for the potential races that we're going to be having next season. It's on our Facebook page, and I think we shared it to Instagram too. So I suppose let me just open up the calendar that Bagpuss kindly made.
The birds are chirping, Robot. We're getting to that point while you're opening that up.
Yep.
We're getting to that point in the season, towards the end of the season, where the little birds are starting to chirp.
Yep.
The words are starting to get through on Discord. We're starting to see, some of the teams that don't like being with each other, some of the guys that want to be with another guy. And then we've got, there's always that group that wants to be with the fastest guy in the previous season. And then, you've got that other group where guys just like to race with, particular guys. So the gears are turning. Yeah, we're at that point in the season where it's starting to get a little busy. Everybody's starting to think about where they want to be at next season. And it's exciting. I love this part of the season where it's getting down to the nitty-gritty, and we're getting ready for the next season, because when the next season comes, OFR is always ready to go from race 1.
And we are. And the first race in the week, for GTS at least, that's going to be starting on Wednesdays is going to be a mixture. Hopefully, Bagpuss, you can just explain this a little bit. So it's going to be a mixture of endurance races and super formula races. Now, a lot of people have asked for both the endurance and super formula because they want a bit of a break midweek from the Group 2 or Group 3 car. So how's that setup going to work there?
So I think at the moment it's looking like it's going to run as 2 individual, 5 race championships. So on the odd weeks of the calendar, we may run the Super Formula, and on the even weeks of the calendar, we run the Endurance Series. So technically, if you don't want to do one, you can do one and not the other, or you can do both if you've got the time, I suppose, and want to commit to it every Wednesday.
Sounds good. Do we know what type of cars we're going to be using in the endurance races yet?
I imagine it's going to be grade 3, probably because they just got the greatest variety available while still remaining quite racing.
We haven't released the track calendar for it, have we?
Not yet.
But from what I've seen, the calendar would be best suited to Group 3.
Fair enough.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, he did. Racer Tay leaking information.
A lot of the track we picked have real life GT3 series on them. To not be too much, to not drop too many hints, there's a list of World Endurance, Blancpain, IGTC.
Interesting. I have no idea.
That's the hint. That's the only thing you're getting from him. That's all he's giving you.
I like how me and Robot, we had no idea.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for someone to comment I don't know what he said, I don't know what it means. I'm not that well versed in GTS. But then the following day, we have this new idea of the GTS Beginners Cup, where I think after we sent this advert out, we're fairly confident that we can fill another division, and we've chosen Thursday for that. And this is where the new guys are going to be racing. Is that right, Bag?
Yeah, so it's one where guys that maybe don't feel that they're ready to race with the guys from the Group 1, Group 2, or Division 1, Division 2 current, and it gives them somewhere to race that's maybe a bit less pressured environment. You can just come and learn on a Thursday, or race with some guys on a Thursday. We get to know each other, and sort of a slightly more relaxed equivalent to what we've got running at the weekend, and also introduce guys to the OFR Discord. Once they come, they won't leave.
Yeah, it's the best Discord server around, apparently. That's what people have been saying.
The GTS guys are set for that as well. They're geared towards that. I mean, Bagpuss and those guys, Racer Tate, they're all geared towards bringing guys in, keeping them in, not letting them go anywhere. It's a good community. It's a good community. Well, just the way that you guys are with each other. If you're a new guy coming in, I mean, it's a very welcoming environment. It's not somewhere where you're not, you don't want to be at. You want to be there, you want to stay there, and you end up joining afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Agree with that. And then it looks like the day after, on the Friday night, we're going to have a continuation of the Classic Cup.
Yeah, so maybe it might not be quite so many classic cars as we've gone this time. So this time we just tried to run something from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and we're going to complete in the 90s this coming Wednesday. Mm-hmm. But maybe something where we just pick some... Exactly, the F40 was my dream car. That's the reason it's there. That's the reason the whole series was made, so that I could race in an F40.
Selfish bastard.
And then, so the idea is to maybe try and use some of those road cars that maybe don't get utilised on Gran Turismo outside of the pretty poor campaign sort of modes. So, maybe we'll see the Mini, maybe we'll see the horrible old Samba bus that doesn't really move. We don't know yet, but we're just going to pick some pretty classic or some pretty obscure road cars and try and chuck them around the track.
Mm-hmm. I've got a suggestion. Why don't you put a Renault shitbox in?
Oh, the Gordini.
The Gordini.
The Gordini. Oh, I know this one. Yeah, that would be I'm not tuning into that.
It's a Mick thing more than anything. I must be honest. It's a Mick thing.
It's the only trace of one of the only traces of proper Gran Turismo where you just make a box go like fucking 2 miles an hour. Sorry, I'm not supposed to say that, am I?
No, it's a podcast.
If the shake boxes are in, I'm in.
All stuff is allowed. Yeah. That's good about the Classic Cup, though. I like that because it's always the Group 2 cars, right? Or the Group 3 or the Group 1. It's always that set. And I've been loving seeing these older cars go out and awesome drivers go out in them and making them go around the track. It's been great this season.
Although I think the highlight's got to be Grimm deciding that he wants to see if he can get the back end of the car to take the track quicker than the front end on a regular basis. That's the highlight of each race.
So I think in Goodwood, Grimm did the slide of the season, and then he almost matched it in the previous race that's just gone as well. In that Lambo, he did. I think it was turn 1. I thought he slid, and I thought he was just going to send it straight into the wall, but somehow his rears just gripped to the track, and he managed to just slide around it beautifully. It was amazing. It really was.
Yeah, it is something else. I mean, the Pontiac wasn't really made for a really good slide, so hopefully with the F40 we can see something similar because they're pretty aggressive as well.
Is it a mid-engine car?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Can't wait. So then on Saturday, there's going to be so Saturday's going to be filled with the Formula One races as usual, and then we can talk about those afterwards. And then Sunday is going to be the same setup that we've got now. So this is where we're going to have the two main divisions, Division 1 and Division 2. But this time we're going to be splitting the cars there. So we're going to be having one division, an entirely separate division with Group 2 cars, and another with Group 3 cars. And as far as I'm aware, we've already filled all the numbers for those divisions. Is that right?
That's amazing.
Yeah, we got 2 full grids. One person we're not 100% on yet, but they have got someone lined up if that doesn't come through. So we should see, and that's with some guys reserving as well. So we've got 2 full grids and people waiting for a full-time seat there already.
Now, Bagpuss, have all the teams... Now, since you're saying that they're all filled, have all the teams kind of renewed their contracts this year? Has it kind of stayed the same as far as rosters, team selection, stuff like that? Are we going to see kind of the same selection this season?
There will be similarities. There are some teams that have sort of worked well together. They're going to stay together. There's some other teams that maybe have mixed it up a little bit. Some guys that haven't sort of wanted to stick around have moved on during the season and have people reserving in between. Those have found extra seats. So it's going to look fairly similar, but there are going to be some surprises along the way.
Can't wait.
Sounds good to me. Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. Ash, we're getting a bit of feedback from your mic, I think. Could you just mute it when...
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, no worries. So, and that's all the GTS races. So basically, if anyone's watching who hasn't joined Discord yet, or you guys who already who are already members of OFR, if you know of anyone who wants to join in on the Beginners Cup, share that advert with them. It's currently linked on the Facebook page for Online Formula Racing. So if you're not following that page already, make sure you do and share it. Now, the Formula One races it's currently not final. So what we've basically done is in our Discord server we've set up a vote or a sign up so to speak that basically asks people if they're using full assists or not, because right now there's a big debate on whether or not we should continue with whether or not we should continue the two main divisions with no assists, or whether or not the top division has no assists and the second division has some assists like Racing Line and possibly Traction Control. Now the thing is, we've got just over 40 people. Most of them actually show up. So I've checked the database, and out of those 40 people that said they can do no assists, they show up to 80% or more races for an entire season. So they're showing up for 8 out of the 10 races at least. So if we do these 2 no assist things, we'll probably have full divisions, full races every single weekend. But the problem is right now we have around 15 drivers who have said that they're not comfortable without using any assists, but they may be comfortable with just like the Racing Line on, for example. And we need to find a slot to fill them in. So this is one of the big things that's going on.
Dictating the main Division 2 turning the line on. I mean, if they can go without the traction, but with the line, I think that's where the debate for Division 2 to turn the line on is coming from.
Yeah.
Or it's going to work out, because, I mean, we can basically fill both divisions right away, and then still keep Division 3 as kind of our entry level, bringing new guys in, seeing where they stand, letting them go on to the higher divisions if need be. But it seems, I mean, I think you're right, Robot. I mean, it looks like we've got enough where you could go full 2 divisions, no assist.
Yeah, right. So I think we definitely have enough, and in some races there may only be like 17 or 18 drivers minimum, but that's still going to be a lot better than what we currently have. But the other thing is, just to build on the reasons that people are saying that they don't want to have assists in D2, is that at the moment we've got Racing Line and Traction Control allowed in Division 3, which races on Sunday nights, and there are people in there that are faster than some of the people in D1. And there's this argument that says only the fastest guys should go in D1, but when these guys take the assists off and they go into D1, they're pretty much nowhere near that same type of pace. And it's kind of, do we want to keep it so only the fastest guys are in the top division and it gets slower further down, or do we want to have this mix? And that's where this advert that we've submitted on social media, that's where we want to basically get guys in who currently use assists but want to work season after season to try and reduce them, because if we can get at least like 10 or 15 more drivers, we can have also 2 other divisions that are full that use assists, and as we have done since the start of OFR, we'll iteratively take them off season by season to help them get towards this no assist dream that we have.
Yeah, and I think with bringing new guys in, the welcome section we've got in the OFR, it's been working. I think that's another thing that the debate is going to have to look into is, yes, there are only 15 guys that want to use assist, but they also have to look into the future. How many more guys are you going to bring in? I mean, surely it will get filled by the start of the next season. We will have that 3rd division ready to go no matter what. If need be, maybe bring some of the guys in that just left Division 2 and want to go to Division 2 or Division 1, and maybe let them reserve on Sundays as a Division 3 driver and let them go back as a fill-in. It doesn't solve the fastest guy issue, obviously, but there are ways to fill that grid, and I think we're going to be able to do that this season.
Yeah. Now, talking about F1, I just want to quickly get back to Division 1 Monza. And I want to obviously ask a question to none other than the legend himself, Racer Tay. Pretty simple question. How do you do it?
Honestly, that was an incredibly lucky race. Otherwise, if turn 1 hadn't happened in the way it did, that 100% would have been a fight between Atomic, Isat, and Stinson.
Hold on, Racer. How long? Let's clear this up for anybody that doesn't know. How long have you been playing Formula One?
Formula One,
Formula One 2020.
Do you mean the new game?
Well, just period. Like, what has this been your first season in a league joining?
Yeah, this is my first league in Formula One.
And listen now, if there is anybody listening in on the podcast and has not been following this season, Racer Tay came in at Monza, hasn't played. This is his first season, and basically smashed. I mean, that turn one incident, it did work out for you, yes, but I think even without it, you would have been up there either way. Just to run top 5 in Division 1, where we're talking about, is not an easy thing to do week to week.
Yeah, zero assists.
It's not very easy. Yeah, no assist. It takes some practice, but for Racer to come in there the way he did, man, you put on a show Saturday.
Yeah, and so sorry, let me just quickly say, so first season when we were called F1 International Racing, Izat was just the guy to beat. He was so quick, he was so consistent, no one knew how he could do it. He didn't practice, he just came in. AJ comes in, takes the crown from him. Everyone, AJ's invincible, no one can touch him. He had so much pace.
Yep.
AJ loses a bit of interest, Stinson comes in, boom, we've got a new AJ. Stinson, lap for lap, he's so quick. Qualifying, he's so quick.
Yep.
Uses the controller so fast. Now, we've seen these guys for season on end. It's like race after race after race, special events, F2, F1, everything. We know these guys are fast, and we've seen them make mistakes. And then Racer Tay just comes in, first race, D1, wins. I mean, I just can't. GTS comes in, wins. Dirt comes in, wins. I can't do it. I don't know how he does it.
Well, I mean, it does a bit of a stretch. That was a pretty horrible weekend on Thursday, and that could have been improved. And there's always room to improve. But yeah, no, I mean, I just enjoy racing. I have since I was born. It's like 16, 17 years. It's been my heart and soul.
Now, do you do it outside of the PlayStation? Now, do you do any karting or anything outside, like in real life?
I'd like to. Not actually at the moment, but it's definitely something I'd be interested in to do professionally. I had a friend in Gran Turismo. I have a lot of friends in Gran Turismo. I keep saying this. I realise. And it was Will, and he does professional karting as well, and he is up there in top split races, near top 16s. And, he's unbelievable pace, and kind of that's where I've always aspired to be. I always want to be at the top of something. I've never aimed for anything lower.
Yeah. Now, granted, it is. I mean, we all know that we are doing the simulation stuff because it is a very expensive thing to get into in real life. Even just karting, super expensive thing to get into. Mm-hmm. It's just not an easy thing. And it's not something, whereas the Formula One guys, they've got to deal with DHL. Their cars get flown around wherever they need be. But if you're karting, you've got to drive every weekend, to wherever the race is at, and then you have to take care of your own equipment. You have to buy all your own stuff. It's not a cheap thing to get into. It's very hard to get into that stuff. So, I mean, we all want to do it. Yeah, I mean, we would all love to do that every weekend. We wouldn't be sitting here doing this, but yeah, I mean, we would all benefit to a car at one time.
But in times of lockdown, PlayStation 4 is enough, Still have fun on track. That's all we need.
Yep.
But no, it's just obviously we were practicing throughout the weekend. You saw it for yourself. I was in the F2. I was in the F1. I didn't initially think I was going to make the race, like I said on the first podcast I was racing at the time. But then the story went, it was Stinson that contacted me. I think I woke up in the morning because I wake up really late. I wake up at like 11 or 12 because I get drained incredibly easily. I woke up and I think I had like 2 or 3 DMs from Rubs and Stinson. I remember. Can't remember what Robs was saying. He's probably complaining about not being in the PSN chat. But Stinson was approaching me saying, we want you in the D1 race. Because at the time I don't think there was many sign-ups. I think it was like 11 or 12, and then there was more throughout the day. So I asked him, okay, I'll try and make it. Is there any seats available? Haas, AlphaTauri, and Renault I think were available. Renault was gone a while ago, so I was kind of at that point I was kind of deciding whether I want to race where I was or whether I actually want to give this a go. And I literally flipped a coin on it. I was sat there thinking I can't decide between them normally, so I'm just going to flick a coin on it, and just so happens that the coin flicked the way it did.
Well, what do you think now, though? I mean, is F1 something that you now want to get into, like on a week-to-week basis?
Is Lika in the chat at the moment? Is he
Negative.
in the party?
He's not, but I will
Negative.
invite him.
Okay. He's not going to like me for this, but in terms of that, I believe at the moment I will be driving with him next season.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait, hang on a minute. Are we talking teammates here?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I told you, Robot. I told you earlier.
Dude, I was
the
trying to
birds
get this
are working
info out
and the
from
gears
you.
are turning. I told you the gears are turning.
Wow. I'm
No, I don't know if I was supposed to say that, to be honest. But I thought we've been saying for a while. We were talking after the race, and ultimately Vilsek's quite busy at the moment. He's got a lot of studying to do. So have I, but that comes later down the line. For me, especially because I'm in my first year of college. So I have the time and capacity at the moment to give this a full try. See how the season goes. See if I can keep pace over the entire thing, and if it all goes well, maybe come back for another few.
So Stinson and Ezat, if you're listening, Ezat, maybe start practicing again. I don't know.
Be
Stinson needs to figure it out.
Yeah, he's going to have to up his game. That's going to be really interesting because we were wondering what was going to happen with Vilsack because, like you said, he had this big move. He moved state and then he's started school again, so he doesn't really have any time. But I think you and Lika would actually be a pretty good team. Both of you very committed to the game. A lot of racing knowledge between both of you two.
We've seen that we're both getting on well through Gran Turismo. We both, I think, an effective combo together. So hopefully that should carry over.
Very nice.
It's big news. Big news
It is.
from
Maybe I need to start practicing again.
There we go.
That
AJ,
might- yeah.
Everyone wants you back in Formula One. You know there's always a space for you in Division One, man. You just gotta want it again. That's what I like to hear.
What else
coming.
is going on, Robot?
Well, I actually wanted to bring in one of our new commentary extraordinaires. So this guy started commentating in Formula One like last season sometime, I think, and he was just doing it one-off like once every 3 or 4 weeks. But now he's doing 2 divisions. He's doing Division 3 and Division 4 on Saturdays and Sunday nights. And Bob, where did you get this level of commentary skill from? It's just come out of nowhere.
I don't know. I think my first commentary job, I think it was either OFR Season 1 at Baku or it was F1IR at Baku.
It was a fill-in at the time, wasn't it, Bob?
Yeah.
We were trying to get somebody to fill in.
I
and
just
you
volunteered
did
out of
such a
nowhere,
good
and I was
job.
just like, I'll give it a shot. I've always wanted to try it, and yeah, I don't know. It just came out of nowhere, and I really enjoy doing it. And I've been trying to actually come up with like different nicknames for some of the cars. Like, I'm not joking here. I'm not joking about this. The Red Bull. I'll call it sometimes a raging Red Bull. Like, if you understand, like kind of.
I've heard that on some of the streams, and it's been one of the things, Robot, since he started has been the climb, the graph that he's created from when he started to where he's at now. Bob, you've come a long way, and you're sounding better and better every week, and you're actually running the streams on your own now. But it's awesome to have somebody like you on that D3 or on that D4 schedule, the late night races, the late evening stuff, where somebody will come in and do the stuff that you do, because it's so late on the European side. So it's been awesome. It's been amazing to see you grow into the commentator that you are now.
Thank you. I feel like it also just plays into the time zone that I'm in because I'm in like the mountain time zone, so MST, and like by the time that D3 starts, it's noon. So then after that, I have like another full like 2 hours before, and it'll only be like 4 o'clock my time. So I still have quite a bit of energy. So.
Right.
Yeah, well,
And,
there's all of the streams that you're doing are getting way more views than they used to, which is so good for OFR, and a big thank you to you as well, because I mean, so many people talk about you in Discord and just how amazingly fun and energetic you are during the streams. It's like
that's what I try and do, pretty much. Sorry to cut you off
That's
there,
right.
but like that's kind of what I've kind of gathered from even watching like you guys commentate or watching or hearing David Crofty commentate. Like
Oh, we're horrible. Yeah, we're bad.
no, you guys are actually pretty good. Like, I will admit, you guys are pretty good. But I take a lot of notes from also like hockey commentators, just any kind of commentary I hear. I kind of just listen to how they're talking, and
We're gonna have to find you a co-commentator, Bob, to
Well,
get
I
you
was doing it.
and go back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right, AJ. You were banging it with Bob there for a while.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
And
it's
after-
usually like for D3, it used to be like AJ and myself, and then I think a few weeks ago it was Lex and myself, and now I think it's right now Leica and myself.
Not bad.
So
I think
and
Bob
then I
kind of thrives on his own as a commentator.
yeah, I feel like at times I do better by myself. Like I think it was for D4 at Baku. Nick, if you see this, I'm sorry. I feel like
cut the mic.
I feel like I'm better at commentary by myself because, like, at times there were at points where I was about to like say something, but then he'd just keep going and going, and it's like, oh god, I'm
That's
gonna
that's
lose
a
this
growing thing, though.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I will
something
admit.
that two commentators have to learn.
Mhm.
And me and Robot have learned. Like that Robot is lead. I know that. I come in and I kind of just fill in the gaps. Give him a break, keep up the excitement, and just kind of bang off of each other. That's really what a good commentary duo is. It's
Mhm.
just two guys that can go off of each other.
Yeah,
And you've got as well with PTSD too, where you've got Astro, Mick, and myself. I'll just let Mick and Astro just do whatever they want, and I'll just chirp in every so often. Them two are just absolutely brilliant.
yeah,
You know what I
but
mean?
yeah.
It's
you,
brilliant.
you three, you could not pick a better
It's
trio to
good.
commentate. Every time,
No.
like, once the race is over and I've settled down for the night, I turn the commentary on for GTS and watch it because it's so entertaining
It's good
to watch.
stuff.
It
It's
really
good.
is.
Can I just jump in? It's all Ash. Ash writes all my jokes and everything, you know.
Does it? You just the deliverer.
I'm not that interested.
Kind of a Sunday Night Live thing. Ash is the writer on all that stuff.
It really is.
And you guys had
fantastic.
success last weekend with something. We'll bring it up on the podcast just before we end. But Ash had a pretty good little commentary section last weekend. How did that go, Ash?
Did I?
Was that the hidden beverage? That was the hidden beverage.
No,
Oh,
that was Mick.
That
That was
Mick.
me, that.
Was that Mick?
Ash comes up with none of our ideas.
Oh, I'm
It's all
sorry.
me.
That was
Mick.
an
That's all Mick.
excellent section. That got the guys going. That was something that we've never seen in the commentary.
I do
before.
appreciate the game of guess the beverage. Like, unfortunately, I wake up on a Monday morning for the school run, rough as out.
And I mean, Mick came up with social media corner as well. That's just absolutely flowing.
That's what I've been. Whilst I've just been sitting waiting in the wings there, I've been trying to get games of I Spy going on there, and nobody's biting it. They're like,
Oh
I do
my
feel
God.
like we've
It's
got
been
like
fun.
I feel like we've got two different sides. We've got the professional F1 D2, we've got Robot and Havoc, and then you've just got GTS D2. Completely different.
I can agree with that.
To be honest, I thought me and Ed always thought that we're probably only going to get to do it once or twice before people went, "Oh, wait, take it seriously." But people are liking it, so just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Just going back to Bagpuss's question earlier, how desperate I was to pipe in about Angel Delight, because that's the reason that I named Ed. He's Jeff Butterscotch, because that's my favourite flavour, Angel Delight.
Oh my god.
So this Wednesday, when I almost didn't make it to the commentary for Classic Cup, I was driving home way over the speed limit. Let's just say that, because I know you two wanted to do it, and I thought I've always wanted to commentate with you guys, and you two said you were available, so I raced home, and it's so hard to keep a straight face and try to talk about the race. Like, I just lose focus so quickly.
My sole mission with people is I try to break them. It's horrible. I feel so bad when I do it, but then when I'm on with Ed Nash, and I mean how. It's a late night slot, this one, isn't it? When we did, it was Red Bull Ring, and you got the little complex in the middle. Mm-hmm. Well, I've always called it the Testicle Complex. But we thought, we can't get away with that on a Sunday afternoon. So it's an Austrian track, let's get the German translation for testicle, and that's why we're calling it Hoden 1 and Hoden 2! So you can imagine, I was trying to break Ed, and Ed's like, "Oh, you've got to be careful when you cut it in close on Hoden 1. Well, that's it, I was gone. The headset was muted, I was gone. Couldn't breathe.
And originally, why Ed was called Jeff was Mick trying to wind Ed up. He was like, "Oh, I'm going to call him Jeff, see if he breaks," and it didn't happen. It just didn't happen.
Thanks for having us, Jeff. Oh, yeah, we're gone.
I love those games in commentary. I think
I've been trying to get them going for ages.
Yeah, and I had to do D1 this past Sunday without seeing the stream. We had a full grid, so I couldn't join in and spectate.
Oh my god, this was so funny.
I had to do that whole race, like, just based off of what Robot was commentating on, and I'm basically just bouncing off of whatever he's saying, and I'm just repeating it.
Last season when Ash jumped in on a couple of commentaries, and I think he was in a party with when he was coming on commentary. I was trying to get them to sneak in with like chocolate bars and stuff like that, and song titles into the commentary, and Ash would not do it. Ash wouldn't do it. Figgy, all over that. Straight away, he got as many Queen songs into a commentary, and nobody knew what he was doing.
Oh my god.
You didn't pay us enough, Mick.
It's just that's my natural, that's my nature. That I just like to wind people up, and getting to do it with you lot's brilliant.
Yeah, it's good fun. I love commentating. And
we did hear it in the background of the Classic Cup on Wednesday. It was racing. I think Racer Tay had the stream on in the background, and so you could just hear. I couldn't really hear what was going on. It was on. That was it. Bacon Tray had it on in the background. Couldn't really hear it, and all of a sudden we were on about, I suppose, lap 5, lap 6, and all I heard was you three giggling and giggling and giggling. I was like, "Well, this is
what it was." You know what it was, right? Halfway around Mick's favourite corner, Mick just decides to call the Lambo the Cuntash, and I had to mute my mic. I lost my shit. I was laughing
I'd been
much.
talking to Ash in the afternoon. I was like, "Look, once or twice, I'm going to drop the name of the car." Now, with my accent, when I say it, the Lamborghini Cuntash. This is whenever I say it, you've got to go, "What?" Every time I said Cuntash, Ash just goes, "What?" It was a mission to break robots.
And it worked.
Through the wibbly wobblies and into Mick's happy place.
The wibbly wobblies and into Mick's happy corner.
Mick's happy corner, by the way, is called Dick Hard Corner.
We can't say that, man. It's not that late.
It is that late. That's why I'm saying it. But that's why it's called Mick's Happy Corner. That's a genuine story.
While I'm on, before you close this down, are you still fishing for GTS and for Season 2 information, Season 3 information?
Yeah, definitely. Give it. Well, try not to leak too much information, but if you can give us some.
I was talking to Bagpuss, and there is the possibility that there's going to be the 2 RNP teams next season.
In Group 2 and Group 3?
Group 2 and Group 3.
Ooh la la.
And we have a lineup, and I could give you the lineup if you would like it.
It's up to Bagpuss. I think we should keep that secret, but
Ooh. Yeah, because
Come
we was
on.
gonna do
Now,
a
now
reveal,
remember
weren't
what
we?
happened with Tag Hour and Spinorama. don't put it
No,
out there because
those RMP
poke the
guys are
bear.
tight. I don't think you'll get them.
Well-
You won't get them to split. They've been trying since season 1 when Astro joined into default. He sort of brought Ash into later on in the season, didn't he? And they were trying straight away to get themselves lined up to sort of race together. So it's been a long
we are
time
having
coming.
a reshuffle. We are having a reshuffle. Like, I can say Grim's definitely going into the group 2.
All right, so here's a question for you: are you bringing in any new guys, or are you only getting them from the current pool?
It's from the current pool.
Ooh, this is gonna be good.
I think.
Yeah, so I've spoken to the lads. The lads are happy for us to make the announcement. So I mean, if you just want to know, I'll let you know.
We need to know. We need
Well,
to
well,
know.
need to know?
so wait, hang on. So the only thing is that we were planning on doing another podcast with video animations and stuff for the reveals, where we kind of release all of the drivers for each team as well. So I think it would be best if we held off for now.
Whoever it is,
it's not
going to
be me.
Maybe we can stick to one from each grade, so we know Grim's going to be grade 2. If you reveal one driver from your grade 3 lineup.
Oh well, it's Ash. Ash staying group 3. Grim's going group 2. We're bringing another new driver into group. Well, not a new driver, but we're reshuffling as a driver going into group 3. And they've got 2 more into group 2.
That's the one I want to know about.
Astro, no, I see. I mean, I put an offer down on the table for him. He struck a hard bargain, like. What's with it?
Whoever it is, you'll pose a good challenge as long as you don't get too close.
Yeah, this is gonna be great.
That is the driver that we want more than. Well, I want him more than I want arms and legs, to tell you the truth.
I don't know what Lika's got on that contract with Baking Tray, but he's got to be throwing something out there.
That would be a good one.
Yeah. No plans to move at all.
See, it's got to be that good. Just a hard no.
What if I paid you a lot of money out of Mick's wallet?
See, if you do this all the time, Ash, you're offering money out of my wallet. I don't even know where my wallet is. If there's money in it, I would know where it is.
It's a running joke. I say that to people all the time. Oh, I'll give you 20 quid out of Mick's wallet, knowing fine well that there's that. I don't even know where Mick's wallet is. It's just a bit of a running joke. So it's
I'm not allowed money. The wife doesn't let me have money. I spend it on silly things like PS5s and stuff.
And steering wheels.
Oh, don't get started on that.
So we've got the only other thing I don't think we've talked about, Robot, is F2, Formula 2.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. Now,
Good point.
Super Bounty's actually joined us in the stream right now as well, and Super Bounty's actually going to be the division manager for that league. Now, I can't remember who. It might have been you, Havoc, who came up with the idea originally, but it looks like Bounty's going to be running it because it's going to be running on Tuesday nights. It's going to be the first race of the week to kick off. It's going to be a different calendar from the Formula 1 season next season. Again, I'm not going to tell you what tracks we're going to use for that one yet. That's also a secret, but I think we're going to be running Racing Line, medium traction, possibility of taking Racing Line off, but we've already got 25 people saying that they want to race in that week on week for 10 weeks. They're
doing the solid F2 style format,
it's going to be 80-minute quali and then 2 50% races, like 50% feature, 50% sprint. But at the moment we've got too many people and not sure how we're going to organise who's going to get the seat and who's not. But I didn't expect it to be so popular.
No, me neither. That's awesome that it's taken off the way it is. It's bad that I'm probably not going to be able to join in, but it's amazing that it's taken off from an idea and it's actually grown into what it is now.
Yeah, I really think it's going to be great. Now, I have signed up to that, but I'm more than happy to give up my seat to anyone so they can get a seat and I can commentate it with someone instead. I think as well the last comment for that is that we might use default setups as well to try and make it more of a level playing field. So everyone's going to be driving roughly the same car and it's really just going to come down to the driver skill. Now, Tay, are you taking part in the F2 League?
No, not at the moment.
So that means championship is open for anyone. Risatay's not going to run away with
Thinking about it, Tuesday is a free day because with the way the college schedule works, Tuesday is a free day, But I'd rather use it to stay in bed as long as possible. That's no offense, by the way.
It's at 7 o'clock at night. You're going to be in bed at that time.
It's a fair point. I'd probably be in bed. I probably haven't woken up by that point.
Fair enough. AJ, are you participating?
Well, I haven't signed up, but you said that the race day would clear off. But I actually got pole in that special event.
Oh,
you might have won the two.
Yeah, I was
you
gonna
might
say,
have won the two races.
I always say this. I always say this. And I always mean it. I think you all drastically overestimate me.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I think the championship standings would declare otherwise, especially in GTS. I mean, the Classic Cup, we've had 3 events. How many of those 3 have you won so far?
But the problem is, it's transferring between games.
Sideswiped.
He's had some media training, that's what it is.
And I think it's also 3 fastest laps and 3 pole positions as well, isn't it? Out of 3.
Interesting.
I mean, like the thing is with driving a set of classic cars from beyond the second millennia, compared to futuristic space machines, is you're comparing 70s, 80s, and 90s cars to futuristic space machines. That's the first problem you've got there.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, it's not seemed to slow you down yet. I think at the moment it seems like everything you touch turns to gold, and yeah, it's sort of worked that way at the moment. So I'm hoping that just someone next season is gonna maybe spring a bit of a surprise.
It's really funny that
with any luck, it'll be a nice trial by fire.
Yeah, so Shane has just joined the stream. Actually, he's actually watching right now. Someone must have conjured him up because Shane was our previous king, wasn't he? I mean, he was champion of the world in GTS Season 1. He was pretty much untouchable until his teammate Bruma came. Bruma won a few races, but Shane still clinched it. Do you think Shane has what it takes to beat Tay?
Yeah.
Bagpuss, what do you think?
Well, I want to say yes, but at the same time, it's a tough one, isn't it? You know, Kimmy as well.
It was such a walk out, walk in kind of a thing. We didn't really get that exposure that we wanted with Shane and Tay here at the same time to see what was going to come of it.
It was one race, wasn't it? It was just Suzuka. I think Tay had that unfortunate incident.
Oh, it wasn't unfortunate. That was all my fault. But
I was giving you the benefit of the doubt there. Tay made a really big mess up, and that sort of affected his ability.
My old punting friend Platypus. Every time I seem to get in an incident in Gran Turismo, it seems to be him, and I'm really, really sorry about that fact because it always seems to be. But no, it'd be interesting to see because you know, I'm before this I have not really done setups on Gran Turismo, and I think Shane's in RLH, isn't he? And they do tuning in all their leagues, right?
I think they do.
I don't think we're meant to be talking about them.
Yeah, that is the league who shall not be named. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, carry on.
If that is the way, then it would be interesting to see where we compare on no setup pace, because a lot of the main Gran Turismo events, the FIA stuff, the daily races take place without tuning. It'd be interesting to see where we lie in that. And without trying to sound like I've got too much of a hubris, I think I'd be ahead, but not by much. A few hundredths maybe, and that's literally only a prediction.
Well,
that was a
challenge,
very direct challenge.
I think that was a laying down of the gauntlet just there.
Shane, come back to OFR and challenge him.
This is mass manipulation.
Yeah, get your days in when you're available, and we will set that up for you. We will stream it, and we will put that exhibition race down, and we'll find out.
It'd be a close race. It'd be a good race, I think. And I think it could be anyone's, because from what I remember, just without tyre wear, without fuel, I think we are even on pace.
Do you think that's what separates you? Is because now Shane and those guys, Shane has got excellent strategy planning when it comes to GTS, and we've seen it. We saw it when they were here. For some reason, they could gain 10 seconds on you in the pits. No matter if it was a 2-stop or a 3-stop or a 4-stop, they could gain those seconds on you in the pits based on fuel strategy and tire degradation. But it was amazing to see those guys be able to gain that amount of time just in pit stops.
I've never been particularly good at math, which is why I generally maybe tend to lose out on pit stops sometimes. There was a good strategy in Alsace which we actually carried over from Willow. The idea of just not fueling in the middle of the stop. But it takes a whole new level of strategy planning to be able to just be able to calculate the perfect amount of fuel that you need. And for that reason, I think in terms of an overall race, Shane has the advantage.
Yeah. What you need is a god in the pit lane like me to do it for you.
Yeah. If you want to hop over to Spin of Armor, that'd be
Unfortunately, my service is already taken on a Sunday.
I told you, Bagpuss. I told you that you just throw it out there, and Leeka's actually joined. So contracts are up for grabs when Leeka's around.
I think he's just trying to make sure Tay doesn't say anything.
No.
There he is. There he is.
No. I actually got an invite by Robot immediately after they shared some top secret information. But no, just kidding. It's now we all know.
It's out now. Yeah, now we all know. So after the F2, we went through the divisions, Robot. So we've started D4 this past season, and it's been amazing. It's been a very good time for a lot of the guys to get together and just throw a race down. Leeka has actually came on top in a lot of these D4 races, and I acclaim it. I actually talked to him earlier this week. I acclaim it to it not being as stressful as an environment as the D1, D2 races, and it lets you lay back a little bit more. It's just a good bit of fun on a Sunday night just to go around and not have to worry about anything. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, so that that's currently called Division 4. That is staying for next season. It's going to run at the exact same time, exact same assists, and it's just going to be rebranded currently as Division 3, depending on what's going to happen with the current Division 3. It may just be called Division 4 again. But yeah, you're completely right. That is going to stay there. Leeka has done a hell of a job in that Division 2, and as you said, it's a big difference when you're racing in Division 1 or Division 2 compared to Division 4. I'm not really sure why that is exactly, but Leeka's has done a fantastic job. Now I'm just looking at the team standings right now. He's got 127 points in the driver standing, and his team's got 158 points. He's 50 points clear of Stinson in P2, and I think he's about 65 points clear of the team standings, the team below him, Alpha Tauri, I can't speak, sorry. So Leeka, how comes you performed so amazingly well, even against Stinson in D4?
I don't know, it's a place where I relax. Bounty as a teammate, we entered the division to just have fun, and our goal was to win the team championship, so I don't know. It's been a lot of fun, and already have one race under my belt before D4 race in exact same track, so...
And Bounty's come up as well. Bounty's actually done very well in D4.
He really has. So he's
to be honest,
31 points. He's tied with Lord Zed in the Alpha Tauri, of course, one of the team rivals, currently in second place. But he got a podium in Hanoi, and did he get another one before that? I can't remember, but he has done a pretty decent job in Division 4 as well. It's so nice to see him back up there. And now that he's actually come back to D2 as well, having switched places with VR, he's back up at the top again. He's finishing high, he's qualifying high. He set a pole time in Monza. I think he set like a really low 119 or even a 118. He's back in his zone, and he's delivering. He's delivering.
Yeah, and I think it's because of the D4, where it's just, he's relaxed and it's taught him. Leeka as well. I mean, and it's just, if you know that you can relax and you can go through this race and kind of let things unfold the way they're supposed to, not try to push when you don't have to, let things come to you. It's a really fun time.
It's the same thing for a lot of guys in there, like Cam being really fast in D4 this season. Jedi, Avi, Lord said. I think Sandu been unlucky and missed a few races, so Stinson missed a few races. But there is a lot of guys who's doing much better there.
Yeah.
Maybe because of just relaxing and more experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And some guys like yourself actually have more points in there, even though they've had 2 less races in the main divisions. And I suppose Division 1 is the pinnacle, I suppose, of OFR. It's the most pressure. Everyone's watching that stream more than others, and it does weigh up on you. But the nice relaxed version of D4 is also fun as well. Also want to just, like you said, give a shout out to Cam there, because he actually won his first race in the OFR last weekend or the week before. I can't remember when it was. He is the division manager in Division 4 as well. He's doing a hell of a job, him and Pingu. And yeah, congratulations on your first race win a few weeks ago. Well done.
Good stuff, man. I think that runs it through, Robot. I mean, you guys know what's coming next season. You know what the divisions are going to look like. Take a look at the advert. Go to Facebook, go to Instagram, check that advert out. If you're not driving an OFR right now, you should be. You should be here. It's tons of fun. It's a very big community. The guys that you're listening to today, this is just a small sample size of what's in Discord. There's a lot of guys in Discord that are the same way. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is there anything else that we haven't hit on?
Just the races tomorrow and the day after. So we've got Suzuka and F1 this weekend, and Bagpuss, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we've got Bathurst and GTS on Sunday.
We have,
yeah. So very difficult track. It's got the corkscrew in there. It's got walls on either side of you, a centimetre away. Heavy damage in D1.
Hopefully get the night set.
It's going to be interesting.
What's the bet? And Gwendolyn's going to choose a night race.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I want
a night race. I want a night race.
Well, just
D2 will be havoc.
If it's not a night race, I'm going to commentate on it with my eyes closed and pretend it is.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. I don't know, Bagpuss, you think we should corrupt Gwen and maybe get a night race? Everyone's asking for it.
Lots of people didn't like it last season, did they? But
they didn't.
That's why you need to do it.
It looked a spectacle last season.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing.
She's good at being coerced, isn't she, Gwen? She could be coerced very, very easily.
Yeah, you just got to push the right buttons. That's
right.
all I'll say.
Well, that's me going to be useless.
And Suzuka, Formula 1, very technical track again. So easy to lose it. There's grass everywhere, one wheel off and you've spun. We've had a few special events there this week. It's going to be crazy. D1 should be fun. I think we've got around 16 drivers for D1 and we're going to have a full grid in D2. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that. Me and Havoc will be commentating D1 again. Lika and Bob, I think, are going to be commentating D2, possibly AJ. So yeah, if you could all tune into that as well, that would be great.
Yeah, I'm excited. I like.
You sound like Tony the Tiger there.
So
and names for the podcast. You got to throw names out there.
Names.
Theme names. We're looking for a theme name.
Oh, theme name. Oh, theme name.
Yep. Yep.
What did you call it? Friday night at the pub.
Yeah, Friday at the pub.
So next week we'll be talking about the Classic Cup, I think, and all of the final decisions for the team for the next season's lineup in terms of divisions. Wonder what we could call that one. I'll have to think about it. Any ideas?
It's gonna be the
podcast 3.
It's gonna be the reveal. It's gonna be the reveal. Podcast 3.
Podcast 3, the reveal. There we go, sorted.
Yeah,
sounds
the
good.
reveal.
All right, so guys, thanks for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure. We've been going for over an hour as well, so this is great. We'll continue this next week.
Don't tell my wife I've been gone for over an hour. She'll expect more out of us.
I'm getting dirty looks from mine. She keeps popping her head in and wondering why I'm having so much fun. Anyway, next week, Friday, same time. Hope to see you all there again. And in the meantime, thanks everyone for tuning in, and make sure you tune into the races tomorrow. See you later, guys.
Yep.